Good evening, happy Friday, and welcome back to the channel. Tonight we welcome back a mensch of a blue wrench. In fact, the hardest working blue wrench in the YouTube community, with the possible exceptions of Tracy Asteria, the lovely Sherry, and Netter. Maybe he's the hardest working male blue wrench in the YouTube community. Anyway, you know him. He's always in the chat. He's frequently behind the bar, but tonight, Steven Deleted Scenes Otten is going to just sit down and have a drink with us, and we're going to talk about him, his tragically undersubbed channel, links in the description, films and entertainment, and whatever else comes up. So pop over to his channel and subscribe. Top off your drinks and strap in. Here we go. And I'm just going to bring you all right in. How's it going, my friends? Good to see you. Age Boomer, you doing okay down there?
I'm fine.
What you sipping on?
I got myself a Coca-Cola.
Oh, a simple classic. That's wonderful. And Steven Deleted Scenes Otten, our very special guest tonight. What you sipping on?
I have sweet tea and milk.
And milk. Okay. Well, that's perfectly fine. I always say you don't have to necessarily drink alcohol. That's on you.
I got Diet Dr. Pepper, so you know.
Yeah, you've kind of switched from the Diet Lipton green tea citrus to Diet Dr. Pepper. That's
I needed the strong stuff today. I did a lot of work.
That's true. Netter took a couple days off, and she's been doing some projects around the house. So she's drinking the strong stuff, at least the strong stuff for her. But well, yeah, anything with caffeine is high octane for her these days. So how's everyone doing today? Let's see who's in the chat. Well, okay, so let's be fair. Steven got here a couple hours ago and said he was first. And that's fair, but you're a guest, so you kind of had an unfair advantage.
Doesn't count.
So Lee Arvin calls you out and says, "No, you're not."
Yes, and I will be dealing with him later.
Yeah.
He knows who he is.
You're not going to bring some family drama onto my channel.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Well, actually, that's perfectly fine. That could actually be kind of fun as a spectator. But Lee, welcome to the channel. I'm so glad you're here. I know you're here for your family member here, but I hope you enjoy it well enough to maybe give me a subscription if you do enjoy it. We weren't actually planning on doing a movie tonight, but you never know. If Steven twists my arm, I might call up my Cosme link and throw something on for you guys. But
I'm hearing a little bit of feedback. I don't know what that's from.
Netter, are you muted?
I'm muted.
Okay.
Yeah. So
maybe it's me.
Maybe it's on your end. Yeah.
Maybe.
Well,
I don't
actually,
know.
guys in the stream, if you guys in the chat there, if you can let us know if you're hearing any echoes or feedback, but I'm not.
Okay.
Big Al stopped by and said, "Have a great show, my friends." Yep, I stopped by his stream. He doesn't always stream in the daytime, but he had an afternoon stream, and I encourage you to check it out. And of course, tomorrow night over on his channel, we will in fact be doing a film rewatch or watch party or whatever you want to call it of Pacific Rim, which Netter and I have not seen yet, so that ought to be fun. Let's see here, and of course my other favorite blue wrench and bouncer. So watch it, everyone. She's keeping an eye on you. Netter of Netters Network. Link in the description. Please make sure you're subscribed to her because I think she's earned it just from the efforts that she puts in over here. And greeting y'all. Look at all the hearts she gives you guys. You know, hi, sweetie, to everybody who she sees in the chat. Sir Torin, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. And David Pensack, yes, thanks for being here, my friend. And I think that gets us caught up. You should try doing a trailer night sometime. That's actually not a bad idea.
Hey, like watching different trailers of various movies.
So there's a couple ways we could go with that. We could do trailers for older films, you know, that which oftentimes, like watching commercials or even old TV shows, it's a very different style. You know, they're usually of their time, so it that's sometimes fun to do. Or trailers for something that's coming out right now, you know, that might be worth doing. And good. Glad to know that you're doing good. Just a reminder that this is a live show, which means anything can happen, and by that I mean technical difficulties beyond our control. Yesterday I was on. I had a special stream with Pops on Pop Culture, but I front loaded that with him, letting him know that I'd had some flickering of my lights, and if the lights go out, I can't stream. And so now it seems that Steven is having a storm right now. So you never know. You never know.
Had a bit of a Wi-Fi issue right before the show, but everything seems to be okay now. Hopefully we will be able to make it through the entire 5-hour, if it goes according to my plan, broadcast.
What?
I streamed for an hour and a half yesterday. I was thinking maybe I should abbreviate this. I'm on the free StreamYards option. I only have so much time per month, but no. I don't care. We'll see. We'll just see where this goes.
We'll be fine. This will be the normal length of the show, folks. This will be the normal length of the broadcast. And sorry.
No, and you know what, Steven? Even if something happens and you drop out, that's okay. We'll keep going with the show. You jump back in if and when you can. Totally understand. You know, we'll just wing it. That's what this Friday night is all about, right?
Absolutely.
Nobody embarrassed me by asking me what I'm sipping on.
I was about to ask you, what are you sipping on?
Normally, I'm not embarrassed by what I'm drinking, but tonight I'm drinking a White Claw. I am open to derision for that.
What is a White Claw?
White Claw is considered in the drinking community to be a girly drink, a foo-foo drink.
Is that like an apple teeny?
It is. It's even lighter than that. It is it's called a hard seltzer. So it's this particular one is a black cherry flavored seltzer with just a little bit of alcohol. But maybe I'll switch to something a little stronger later. I just, I don't know. To start with something refreshing.
I think there was an episode of South Park once where they, like the new family in town, and like the guys at the bar said, "Okay, let's welcome the dad of the new family. You know, yeah, you can come hang out with us." And he asked the bartender, "Do you have any wine coolers?" And they started beating him up after he said that.
Well, I'll tell you, I would have been the same way about wine coolers, except Bruce Willis did a great series of commercials for Seagram's. You know, that was back when he was on Moonlighting, and he had out his Return of Bruno album, and he did this great blues rendition of a jingle for Seagram's Golden Wine Cooler. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this thing because Bruno's selling it, and it wasn't bad. I kind of enjoyed those. Couple of parties I went to, some of those wine coolers kind of went to my head. So here's to that. But yeah, there's a YouTuber that I really like, Brandon Herrera. He does a lot of Second Amendment, concealed carry type videos. He mostly does somewhat humorous gun meme reviews, and in so doing, he also, in a humorous way, teaches gun safety. He also has the what is it, the Darwin Awards. People doing dumb things with guns on videos and saying, yeah, he broke about 3 of the 4 cardinal gun safety rules here, and so on and so forth. But whenever he does a demonstration, uh he calls it his White Claw penetration test, because he puts up a box or cans of White Claw and shoots through them, and because pick on people that drink White Claws because they're girly drinks or whatever. But in fact, if you get a chance, look him up. Brandon Herrera did a great video about a year ago for I think it was May the 4th, where he was testing out a I don't remember what company did it, but it was a 22 stylized and shaped like the Han Solo's blaster. That Mauser handle and body with the flash guard on it and whatnot. And he was dressed up like Han Solo and stuff. It was actually quite humorous. He's clearly a geek. He hit all the Star Wars jokes. He lines up, he says, I'm going to forego my regular White Claw penetration test because in Star Wars you use colored milk. And he had bottles up, and the 2 on the end were green, and he had 3 blue milks. And he shoots and he blasts the blue milk and he leaves the green milk. And he says, yeah, that's pretty good, pretty accurate. He goes, you might be wondering why I only shot the blue milk and didn't shoot the green milk. He said, the reason I did that was because only the blue milk appears in Star Wars films that actually existed. I was like, I like this guy. I immediately hit subscribe at that point.
I'm sure there was the green milk in one of the EU novels at some point, right?
Honestly, I can't think of one.
I don't know. Actually, you did read a lot of them. I forgot. Yeah, I
read a lot of them, but after a certain point, I stopped because it got to be pretty stupid. The whole Yugon Vog. I don't remember what it was called.
That's when they switched publishers. They went in a new direction. I remember that happened. That was, I think, with the. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But, I got to bring up all these tabs here. Comments. There we go. Big Al says, White Claw, the drink Starlight drinks and the boys. See, I said a girly drink. That's what I've been told. So, yes, it is. It's not much of an alcoholic drink, but just enough to kind of make me feel a little. I'm a lightweight, so it makes me feel a little schmoozy, a little fun.
Is there a White Claw montage you have ready for us?
Not yet, but I'll probably put one together for the future. Yeah. I'm sure there's something humorous out there.
Orville Nation's in the house.
Hey, PJ, how you doing?
Hello.
Good to see you. So yeah, I think I've BS'd enough. Let's get down to business. And so everybody knows him, Stephen Otten, Deleted Scenes. He's been in the community forever. You've seen him in the chat. He was here for at his request. Actually, we did some reviews of the series, the Amazon series, Outer Range. Big David Lynch fan. He even looks a little like David Lynch. He even sounds a little bit like David Lynch. That's a good thing in my opinion. He was the one who brought to my attention that Julie Cruz passed. I appreciate him doing that. It wasn't good news, but still. But how you doing, Steven? What if I was to ask you for an elevator pitch? You have a few minutes in an elevator with some executive to pitch your channel. What would you say?
Okay, I am a pulp culture and entertainment channel. I talk about pretty much whatever pops into my head at the time. So,
Yeah,
come on in.
I get you.
Yeah, have fun. It's pretty crazy in here. Yeah, and I do film reviews, television reviews, even though no one watched a television review, but, And I did an impromptu live stream about a week or so back because I boomered it over on, on Matt's channel. So, yeah, I co-host Saturday Serial on Matt Allen's channel, Bud Boy Productions.
Yep.
And that's Saturday mornings, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. And as people have been following me on that show, we haven't been on the last couple of weeks. Last week we just took the week off. The week before that was completely my fault because I had some technical issues and I had to cancel the show last minute. So I went over onto my own channel and did like an impromptu live stream. I'm not curing any diseases. I'm just doing a lot of what everybody else does on YouTube, which is complain about Disney and
Pretty much. Well, not everybody.
Not just that.
There are some pixie dusters out there that I guess Disney can do no wrong for them. But
and that's fine. That's their opinion. But and we've discussed this before. Yeah. I'm very hit and miss when it comes to Disney.
Right.
And,
I agree with you.
Lightyear's looking too good for him right now. Unfortunately, we'll wait and we'll see what the numbers are at the end of the weekend. But
oh yeah, and like I say, and like a lot of the people in our chat often say too, you don't have to like everything we like. You're allowed to like the things we don't like. But for crying out loud, put your big girl pants on and deal with the fact that not everyone's going to like the same things you do.
No.
That doesn't make them evil people,
No, I mean, one of the things about my channel, at least, I hope people have noticed about my channel, is that everybody is pretty much, even if I disagree with you, you're pretty much free to speak.
Right.
And if I say that I like something or don't like something, you don't have to agree with me. I think the most important thing about my channel is that it's not like and I hate to use the term black pill.
Yeah.
Because I think there's like varying degrees of what can be considered a black pill or not. And when I was on your the Blue Milk stream when we were talking about the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh yeah.
I made it. And I was kind of maybe a little more vitriolic.
Okay.
On that show than I would like to have been.
Sure.
But I was genuinely angry. Yeah. Not just not necessarily about that show. The show is okay. It's not anything special. It's. I would rate it. Wait until it's on streaming. Oh shit, it's on streaming. So you're kind of stuck there, kids. But
no, you're absolutely right.
I was admittedly maybe a little, like I said, a little more vitriolic than I had intended to be, because I was kind of upset at the state of things, and to have someone that you had some respect for just, blanket accuse people that they don't know of acting in a certain fashion, that's going to get under my skin. And, Hollywood, and it's not everybody, there are some good people there, but you're backing the wrong horse. Yeah. You're backing the wrong horse out there, Hollywood. And
some are figuring it out, not everyone is. Yeah.
They are currently there's a certain studio who is shielding a certain someone.
Yep.
And we're not going to go into details, but there's a certain studio who's shielding a certain someone. And guys, you know you're backing the wrong horse.
Yep,
I
I
got
agree with
You,
you 100%.
and you need to do the right thing here.
You did bring up the blue milk stream. It's funny because for
Yeah.
completely unrelated reasons, I was going back and looking at some of my old streams, and I saw that one, kind of rewatched it a little bit. Um, so because you brought it to my recollection, this segment brought to you by Dark Blue Milk Cooler.
What is a bigger part of a forceful breakfast than cool, fresh, blue bantha milk? And what better way to start your weekend than Dark Blue Milk Cooler from Sid's Parlor in Ord Mantell City? Relax, hydrate, and enjoy Dark Blue Milk Cooler with friends. It may not be your only hope, but it's not a bad one.
If I'd have known, that's what I'd have been drinking tonight. But oh well.
Dang it!
Yeah. Oh well. But no, yeah, I get exactly what you mean. And Boomer and I have had our issues with different YouTubers that one or two YouTubers that absolutely hated something that we liked, and because we chose to express, disagreement, just banned us from their channel. And now I've had one that I didn't like something that this YouTuber liked and got banned from that channel. And you notice I'm being very careful not to use any pronouns here because I don't want to narrow it down. But I don't want to be negative about any other YouTubers, but
No, me
darn
either.
it, I really have a problem with people that you establish relationships with people. You call them friends. You think of them as friends. So you assume that you could be a little vulnerable with them, that you can share your feelings, that you can disagree with them. Apparently not. Some people you just can't disagree with. And I'll tell you what, if you're too fragile with your situation, your feelings, your likes and dislikes to disagree with somebody, it's going to be really hard for me to be friends with you. It's just that simple, I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on streams where I was on the losing end of the argument, so to speak,
Sure.
and but right afterwards, right after that stream is over, hey man, we're streaming tomorrow. Are you in? Because
exactly.
I haven't really had that much of a problem, with anybody. I haven't been banned off of any channels. So far as I know, who knows? By the end of tonight, who knows? But
Yeah, and David says, and wouldn't it be funny if that film with that certain someone fails miserably? Look, I don't. I was saying this the other day with when I was interviewing Pops. I've gotten a reputation in certain circles with certain friends of being always right in my predictions. And I do not claim any kind of special insight or prognostication or ESP or anything like that. It's just that I know history, right? And it's not even knowing history. It's just paying attention to what's going on right now. People always talking about 4D chess. Forget the 4D chess. Just think about chess, right? You look at what's going on the table and use your brain, logic. What if I do this? What are they going to do? And what's going to be the next thing? And you look 5, 6, 7 moves down, right? Just simple reason, right? And when I look at what's going on, when I look, and this happens a lot with the Sunday night stream on Aged Boomer's channel. Link in the description. Make sure you're subscribed. When we do Geeky Geezers and we talk about the news that's going on, we make predictions all the time. And in fact, I meant to talk with you about this, Boomer. I may have to start doing clips of or if not clips, at least take notes when I say something in a stream on Sundays, so that we can reference back. If I make a prediction,
All right.
we should go back and say, see, Troy said this on this date, and here it is happening, you know?
It's funny. Remember my prediction at the beginning of the year? I said they're going to reboot Doctor Who from scratch. That was wrong. Okay.
Well, no. Don't be too quick, because what's happening, Russell T Davies is going to be coming in, and we don't know what his plans are. It may at least be a soft reboot.
I don't know, because Russell Davies' first choice to return as Doctor Who was an actor named Toby Stephens, who would have been perfect as Doctor Who. He would have been great. He's played a Bond villain. He was in the movie 13 Hours, where he played a Navy SEAL. He's a great actor.
All you have to do is say he played a Bond villain, and I'm like, okay, sounds like he'd be perfect for Doctor Who.
Yeah. And but
what's his name? Toby. What was
it? Toby Stephens. However, what the BBC went and did behind Russell Davies' back was they fired Toby Stephens, and they put this other actor in, the fella I can't pronounce his name, Gatwa.
Yeah.
The Nakuti Gatwa or something, I think is his name. I might be wrong. And it sounds to me like they're just using that guy to check off a couple of boxes.
That's very clearly what they're doing.
And we have a bot.
Yeah, we got a bot.
Hello, bots.
Whoa.
Oh, finally. That didn't take long, did it?
I haven't had a bot in a long time. Let me tell you. Oh, thanks, man. See?
Thanks, Dave.
My blue rents...
The second I get to check the laundry, you get a bot.
Yes,
Ranches unite.
Yes, thank you, David, for getting that for me. You are awesome.
I'm reading what the bot is saying.
My blue wrenches.
Who the fuck still uses Tinder?
I don't know,
Seriously?
but nothing. Nothing. If it's cheap, there's going to be a consequence, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Did you you guys that follow me on Twitter? Did you see I shared a video from Viva La Dirt League, which Netter's always talking about what is it called? Like fishing video, or no, when you get a fishing friend request or something, you know what I'm talking about, right? Anyway,
all the time.
This was from a couple years ago, and the three guys are sitting around and they're on their computer, and one of them looks and he sees that he's got a friend. Oh, look, you got a friend request. It's from like this really pretty girl, but that's the only picture that she's got up, and she's got no friends. She's not following anybody. So he says, "Oh, do you guys get these fishing friend requests?" "Oh yeah, all the time."
Oh,
and
yeah.
They're looking and they're laughing. They're going, "Oh, this one's for real. Absolutely. Look how pretty she is." Yeah.
I get like 5 of those a day.
Yeah. And
at least.
"Oh, Tatiana, whatever. Oh, she's definitely real. She's definitely real." And he said, "Oh, look, she's messaging you," and it's like clearly the poor English and whatnot. And "I saw you and I thought you were really great, and I'd like to get together, something or whatever." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna respond all right. Leave me alone. Go away from me." And
so mean.
He sends it. He goes, "That ought to do it." And then the video goes to somewhere in Russia, and there's this really pretty girl. It's her, the one from the thing. And she's sitting, she takes a drink. She's like, "Why does nobody love me?" And I actually commented, how you comment to somebody else's comment in the video. Someone says, "Oh, I feel so bad for Tatiana," and I'm like, I do too, but then I remind myself it's just a skit. That's Brit. Everyone loves Brit. She's fine. Anyway.
Sir Torin in the chat is leave Tatiana alone. That's the drinker's woman. Yeah.
Yes.
Hands off. Hands off.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Exactly right.
Drinker.
Oh yeah, he's great. I'm a fan of his channel. He's
That's somebody in one of the chats said something about that, because I said something about drinking or getting drunk. Oh, just like the critical drinker. I'm like, I'm amateur hour compared to him. He can drink and just be fine. You know me. I have one or two drinks and I'm blotto. And then you guys make fun of me, which kind of is part of my appeal. I'm like the anti-drinker. No, that's not right. I don't
I
know.
think of all of his shows, I think there's only one time where I saw him go, yeah, I think I might have had one too many here.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe one time, which isn't bad.
What's
Okay.
funny is, when he does his scripted videos, he clearly puts on the drunkenness,
Oh yeah.
and you notice the difference when you hear him live, right? Because he's just, the accent is the same, but he's not, doing the drunk talk,
Yeah, he's just being himself.
But I'll tell you what, he is a card. He really is. He's got a great sense of humor. Honestly, I'd love to read some of his books. It's just that I have such a long list. I can't justify it right now.
I read the first one.
Did you?
I did, and it's pretty good. If you enjoy that genre of sort of action and
Well,
spies and all running around,
you saw
it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
You saw the rewatch we did of Remo Williams a couple
Oh,
weeks
yeah.
back, right? Was it kind of like in that vein?
It is in that vein, a little darker.
Yeah.
A little darker, but yeah,
Because
very
I like
much.
the Destroyer series,
And,
I mean, the ones that I read.
And Ryan Drake, that's the character that's in his first 9 books. He is very much cut from that sort of Destroyer
Okay.
vein.
Yeah.
I don't want to say Tom Clancy because he's not that so much, but
But a similar, like,
similar vein.
kinda, yeah,
yeah.
I
If
get
that, if you like that sort of genre, The Gray Man is another one which they just did a movie on that I hope is good, but I got a lot of reservations about.
yes.
So yeah.
Sir Torrance says, I always thought that's all I've got for today. Go away
now.
It was supposed to be a drunk's dismissive tone towards people around them. Turns it was just him saying dismissive towards YouTube. Well, there's that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, sometimes when he goes off on his rants about stuff, it almost has a sad tone to it. Like he's depressed and he doesn't want to be around anyone anymore. That's all I've got for today. Go away now. Leave me to wallow in my sadness.
Yeah, a drinker wants what we want. We just want to be entertained. We don't want these politics crammed down our throat every 2 seconds, and we don't want to be accused of being some kind of vistrophobe because we don't like something.
Yeah, and this
That's
is
all.
This is exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to Disney. I don't care if you think that Obi-Wan is awesome or you think it sucks or what you think about it. I just can't bring myself to support it because of their current public stance on everything. We'll be talking on Sunday, I'm sure, about the Buzz Lightyear movie. But you don't even have to wait. Go check out Valiant Renegade's video about that.
Mm-hmm.
They're what is it they said? Their not so secret gay agenda is very front and center from what I hear.
Did you ever see the movie For Your Consideration? It was like one of those Christopher Guest movies that Christopher Guest would star, and it was like one of those fake.
I know of it.
Yeah, this was like in the same line of Waiting for
Wow,
Guffman.
David, you're fast. That one.
Oh, I didn't even see that one.
I didn't even have a chance to switch over, and you nailed it.
Bam. Okay.
Wow.
Anyway, just to point out though, they're adapting in this movie. For Your Consideration, it's about making an Oscar bait movie, right? And they're adapting this well-regarded play into a movie called Home for Purim. And in the play, the daughter of the Jewish family brings home a girlfriend who is actually her girlfriend, and there's a point where like they show a scene in the movie says, well, don't you know I'm a lesbian, Mark? And then they go to cut, and then the actress says, "Can we stop tiptoeing around the gay stuff and just come out front and center with?" Even though she just in the prior scene outed the character, basically said verbatim what she was, and that's sort of what I feel about the Lightyear thing when they were taking the kiss out, and they were like, "But everything else points to that." It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, right? Because apparently the gay kiss isn't even the biggest deal. The
I
whole
know that's
story
funny
revolves around that relationship.
Yes,
you know.
I guess the also one of the women is pregnant, which people they were
how does a gay couple get pregnant? Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe.
Well, it's funny because I've been thinking. I'm like, well, maybe one of them is a girl, But then I'm like, you know what? I don't know.
We're thinking too much about this, I think.
I don't know what they're doing. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that are enjoying Kenobi and saying, yeah, but I'm not actually paying for it. Yeah, but you're talking about it, and whatnot. And so tacitly you are supporting that. You are supporting this public declaration that Disney has done that we are going to oppose, the parental rights bill and da da da. Okay, fine. If that's the side you come down on, but
that's all well and good. Just don't put it in your content. And I am going to call it content from now on because that's all it really is. They're just looking to fill up a time slot.
Yeah. No, you're
and this
absolutely right.
is something that I brought up during the Blue Milk stream, the Blue Milk stream once again, and and for anybody who hasn't seen that show, please go back and watch it because there were some pretty interesting insights, not just from Troy Aged as usual, but also
completely rewatch that now.
Yeah, because that it's of just to kind of critique myself. Asshole talks about himself on YouTube. Anyway, no. And FYI for anybody who maybe didn't see that stream, I was not the only person who was in that stream. But, it is one that I think to go back to watch. Just to see exactly how things turned out with Kenobi and with Book of Boba Fett since we talked about those shows. I said going in with Kenobi that if Darth Vader and Obi-Wan meet at any point during the course of that show, I'm out because that breaks canon.
Yeah. And
unfortunately, Disney chose to beat me to it by the way that they chose to advertise the show, which was by not advertising it, but calling all of the fans racist if they didn't like it.
Yeah.
So I'm out.
That's just insulting,
you don't attack your own audience. That's what they were basically doing.
Yeah.
Right. And that seems to be the modus operandi for too many companies these days, and it's not working out well for them. It's really not. I just dropped the link to the stream that Steven's referred to a couple times. I mean, you mentioned it twice. I really should drop a link. But it's true. That video probably does age pretty well because it's exactly what I'm talking about. This idea of disagreeing and remaining friends, or disagreeing and never being seen on one another's channel again. Just that's all I'm going to say about that. Who do you still see on my channel? Who do you not? I mean, and that's not my choice. So just saying. But and I've just lost video. So give me just a second.
You've lost
Let me pull myself out. You can still hear me, right?
I can hear you.
You did freeze up. Yeah, we can still hear you.
So the weekend. So, deleted scenes. How has the week in pop culture been for you? Anything you're excited about happening right now?
Anything that I'm excited about? Well, I was kind of hoping that both Jurassic Park and Lightyear would be better than they appear to have been. I haven't seen either one, FYI. I can't really comment on them as far as what I would personally think. I haven't seen either one.
I haven't seen. I tend to cut more slack for Jurassic Park, but again, that doesn't mean this new one is good. But I do tend to cut those slack because dinosaurs and Go ahead though. But.
I'm looking forward to a horror movie called The Black Phone.
Wow.
With
yes.
Ethan Hawke. That looks pretty good. I've been hearing some really good things about that.
I saw
movie.
the trailer for that when I saw Halloween Kills. Don't see Halloween Kills.
No, don't. That's one of the the streams I was talking. I was on a round table, a review round table, 20 minutes after I had finished watching that movie.
Yikes!
And I was fuming. I was furious. I hated that movie.
Did you see it in theater or did you watch it on Peacock?
I watched it on Peacock.
You were better than I made a promise to a friend that I would go see with him in theater. Terrible. One of the worst sequels I've ever seen. Oh
my God.
Okay. Let me ask you guys something. There was a movie recently. Well, recently, I think it was a year or two ago. It was a horror film about people that were like on a Zoom call. Do you guys?
There's been a few movies like that. Yeah.
Darn, what was the name of it? Big Al recommended it. In one of his.
Host.
Could be. Like people were dying. They did a seance on the Zoom call.
Host.
And then
okay.
That was actually pretty good. I thought
pretty good.
That was interesting. Yeah, kind of short. It's like 68 minutes, but
I don't see anything wrong with that though.
No,
this idea that a movie has to be 2 hours. If you can tell your story in an hour, then by all means,
90 minutes tends to be for horror the sweet spot. Like 90 minutes for horror usually. That's why I always consider Dawn of the Dead, the original Romero movie, like an epic because it's at 2 hours and like 10 minutes or something. But it's
or near 2.5 if you've seen the longer version. But
yeah. And what's
I have. Which is great. Yeah.
What's interesting about that? What was it called? Host. Yeah.
Host.
Yeah.
Which confused me. That's why I don't remember the title because I think of host. I think of like a host and a parasite. I don't think host like hosting a video stream, but whatever. But you don't need this, the way they went about it, as opposed to, for example, a found footage. This is like you are like hacking into or monitoring someone else's Zoom call or something. So you're not going to know the background of these characters. You're not going to know, there's not going to be character development. That's not what this is, but it is like a found footage in that you come in en medias res, you see it real time and it's done. And that's fine. I don't see anything wrong with that. That's totally sets up a different level of creep factor. This whole idea, if right now there was someone coming from behind that divider, coming up behind you, Steven, that would freak me out. And then when I go, look behind you, I mean that, it's the kind of story you can only tell in the modern age. It's taking into account, the current situation we deal with and the modern media, So, so Steven, let me ask you this.
Just kidding.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Some of that stuff was, and then even the like the green screen stuff where, like a video is playing and you think that they're at they're in front of their camera and their camera's on, but it's not, it's a pre-recorded thing, and then you realize they're dead already or something. Oh my God, that was just crazy stuff. But Steven, if I was to put you on the spot right now and say, what is at this moment, which I know could change tomorrow or the day after, what would you say your favorite film is?
Favorite film? Well, here's one example: Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction,
definitely
Tarantino
is
fan. I know
certainly
you're a
one.
Fan. Yeah.
I like that.
I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Citizen Kane is another one I've always liked.
Citizen Kane is great.
Um,
Yeah.
The original Star Wars,
Of
the original
course.
Star Wars, the original,
Yeah.
and Empire especially. Those are good.
Before there was an episode 4, before they
Yeah.
called it A New Hope. Yeah.
I just watched Predator again recently. That one still works like
That was
gangbusters.
so
A
good.
good one.
Heathers was another one that was a big favorite of mine from that time period.
Mm-hmm.
That
I
one
never
got me
watched
through
that.
high school. That one and The Breakfast Club. I think those are the two movies that got me through high school. So
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
so those are favorites.
And what
Yeah.
would you say in the past like year or two has been your favorite film?
Oh, there's like a low budget independent western called Old Henry with starring Tim Blake Nelson. That is
Yes.
fantastic. If there was, I can't think of if there was any justice. That movie would have won Best Picture last year.
Yeah,
And,
I've come to the conclusion that there is no justice, at least as far as those award things are.
Yeah,
They
because it's
have
just
not been choosing good films for a long time. It's now about the Hollywood circle jerk, is what it really is.
it really is. It's a shit show, and
So it looks like
Anyway,
looks like your bro's calling you out.
oh
here.
yeah,
He's saying, "I see you, bro.
sure.
Charlie's Angels."
Oh, but which Charlie's Angels though?
Well, good point. Tell the truth. You like the Duke. You like the Duke.
Duke. Well, yeah, you know, I like a good John Wayne movie just like anybody else. I don't know if I would necessarily call any of his movies my favorite necessarily, but you know, if there's one that's on, I'll sit down and I'll watch it.
I like The Searchers.
What's another one? The Searchers, also very good. If I had to pick a western, The Wild Bunch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so he's saying
There's
the first Charlie's Angels film.
Oh, the first film?
Yeah,
That's fun.
I would say it was.
It's
that
fun.
was probably the best in my
Yeah.
opinion. Definitely not the last one. That one.
I didn't
Actually,
bother
even
with
see
it.
I can't even speak to it, but I saw the drinkers video about that. That's yeesh. I'm glad I missed that one.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest with you.
Another movie that just came to mind. It's a big favorite. Is The Great Escape.
Oh yeah, that's a great one. Much
Outstanding
parodied,
movie.
too. Much parodied and homaged.
Oh yeah, very much so. Made all the better that it actually happened.
Yes, you're absolutely
You know.
right.
And
Did you see? No. Let me ask it to you this way. Clint Eastwood. What's your favorite Clint Eastwood film?
Outlaw Josie Wales.
Yep. Just recently. I
Mhm.
think it was. I'm pretty sure that it was. Well, now I'm not sure if it was Big Al, or if it was Jedi Bill who did a rewatch of that just recently.
I think Bill was going to do a rewatch of that. Yeah.
So that might have been where I watched it recently.
Mhm.
I gotta say, favorite Clint Eastwood film for me, Heartbreak Ridge.
That's a very good one as well.
That one
I-
is going to be done on my channel very,
Mhm.
very soon.
I saw that at an age where I probably should not have been watching it. But, I mean, and it's not that it's like overly violent. I mean, there's action, but it's not like gory, explicit action.
Yeah.
The R rating, which was earned,
Yeah.
was for the language.
Yeah.
And yeah, I saw that. There were some pretty interesting phrases that I learned from that movie that I knew. Don't use that at home.
So,
Don't say that in front of your mother, please. Don't. Oh, she's
see-
watching the movie with me. Oh well. Uh oh.
See, yeah, my mother,
Hello.
my mother cussed like a sailor. Her language was worse than mine. I could get away with a whole lot more. Boomer, have I ever told the story about how I came to first see Heartbreak Ridge in
You
any
said
of
it
our
was
streams?
a D&D night, right?
Yes, it was.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
a series of D&D nights. I'll tell the story again for Steven's sake. Um, I my D&D group in college was constantly doing quotes from Heartbreak Ridge uh, in the context of D&D. So like we'd see what creature is we're about to go up against a beholder or something. What do we do when we go into a combat and we're not leveled up? We just get dead. And I'd be like, are you guys quoting from something? And they're like, well, sort of. It's Heartbreak Ridge. You've never seen Heartbreak Ridge? No, I've never seen Heartbreak Ridge. And after a couple of game sessions where they we're doing these quotes and I had no idea what they were talking about. I was actually starting to do these quotes too, never having seen the movie. Like, you need to see. So one night I came over for D&D. They said, screw D&D. We're sitting down, we're watching Heartbreak Ridge. And so I watched Heartbreak Ridge with them, and I loved it so much. I came home and I told Netter about it. And she said there was just something about the way I told the story made her want to see the movie. So we watched it together. And she's like, you're right. This was a really good movie. Not something I would have watched on my own, but really, really liked it. Now she and I both do the same thing. We quote from that movie all the time. Wait. Relationship? I thought we were married. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing a rewatch of that real soon.
And another really heavily quotable movie from that era was Full Metal Jacket.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And
Animal Mother.
oh fuck yeah. Adam Baldwin. God fucking bless you, man. He's great in that movie. And you should check him out on Twitter too. Sometimes he's a hoot.
Oh yeah.
I saw a lot of arguments get solved back in my high school days by people just delivering big chunks of dialogue from Full Metal Jacket and just throwing them at each other.
That's awesome.
You can eat the peanuts out of my shit.
That is a sign of great storytelling, right?
Yeah.
When people enjoy it so much that they like quote it to each other.
Yeah.
People
are quoting Heartbreak Ridge, Full Metal Jacket, hell, The Great Escape. Is anybody quoting The Eternals?
I would be hard pressed to even know of a line from it, or Captain Marvel,
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Although some of the earlier Marvel films, sure, there are some lines from.
The problem with the quotable Marvel quotes is they keep reusing the quotes in later movies and have other characters doing them, and it's like, no, it's
and
not
usually in a deconstructive way.
Yeah,
too.
it's just like, I can do this all day.
That's what they did to it, to Infinity and Beyond. From what I hear.
No. Yeah, it's now a fart joke. That's what I'd heard. So it's like, what are you doing?
I don't know, guys. But this is why I think this is so important, oh, yeah. So Lee brings up Iron Man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which, of course, comes from the, is it Ozzy Osbourne? The Ozzy Osbourne song?
Yeah.
I Am Iron Man? I had a buddy who used to cosplay as Tony Stark. So my custom ringtone for him was, I am Iron Man. Anyway, this is why this is so important. And when people like Doomcock talk about fighting this war for pop culture, it really is important. And when we talk about, supporting the things we love and withholding our support from things that we just find offensive, it takes a while, but over time you shape what they put out. And we're seeing it right now. We're talking about it every Sunday in Geeky Geezers. When you see David Zaslav firing people left and right that are not producing, right? shocker of shockers, a business firing people who don't produce, who aren't bringing in the money. And why aren't they bringing in the money? Because they're putting the message in front of the entertainment. This is an entertainment media, not a propaganda media, not a, teaching media, a preaching media. If you are not entertaining, then get the F out. I obviously haven't had enough to drink. I just censored myself. What the hell? Come on.
I'm curious, Leader Scenes. Can I ask a question of our guest? Of your
Go
guest?
for it.
Yeah.
That's what he's here for. He's here to be abused and interrogated.
Current Hollywood actors, are there any that you really like? Current, like of the current hot actors or quote unquote hot actors that are out right now, that are working basically in movies. Are there any that stand out for you that you really like?
Is there anybody who stands out?
Yeah. Like Chris Pratt, do you like him? I don't know. Or...
I do. I do. But the issue with Chris Pratt is he's in danger of just playing himself in everything.
Yeah.
In danger of becoming what they call a movie star as opposed to I guess a more rounded actor.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. I like Chris Pratt a lot. He's great. I liked him in Magnificent Seven, where he basically played the McQueen part.
Oh yeah.
I liked him in. I liked the movie that he did on Amazon, Tomorrow War. I know a lot of people dumped on that, but I had a lot of fun with it. A little long, but I thought it was fine. Terminal List looks really good. Based on the Jack Carr novels that comes out on in a couple of weeks, I think, on Amazon. That looks really good. I'm going to check that out. But I do like him. I don't.
What about that Mrs. Aquaman? What do you think of her?
I liked.
Netter's giving me the stink eye.
I liked that Criminal Minds episode she was in, but
she was on Criminal Minds.
That was about it. For yeah, she was like in a one-off.
Well, Netter likes Criminal Minds, so that probably gives her some cover.
I'm trying to think of what I saw her in before Aquaman. She was in Drive Angry with Nick Cage.
She was in Drive Angry with Nick Cage,
which I thought was an
Nick
unofficial
Cage can
ghost.
Get away with any movie because he's Nick Cage.
Yeah,
it almost felt
that
like
doesn't give her any coverage.
Like an unofficial Ghost Rider sequel. That's what that movie felt like.
That was, yeah. There's a movie called All the Boys Love Mandy Lane, where looking back on it, she's basically just playing herself.
Huh.
Well, that's great. They could do a sequel. All the Boys Avoid Amber Heard.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as soon as we brought up Amber Heard, there's a bot.
Nice. Oh gosh.
Dave, did you get that bot?
Oh,
Dave got the bot again. Dave, steely-eyed missile man.
Quicker on the draw than Han Solo.
Are there any actresses you like currently in Hollywood?
Are there any actresses I like currently in Hollywood? There will always be actresses that I like currently in Hollywood, and that will never change. Right. I'll bring up a couple who are kind of a bit high profile right now. I have always been a Winona Ryder fan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love her to death. She can do no wrong. No matter how much she tries, she can do no wrong, as far as I'm concerned. Another one that I'm a big fan of is Jennifer Connelly.
I know. She's had a great resurgence, isn't she?
She never left.
Yeah, she did it because she was doing less.
She just went off and did smaller movies for a while.
She did A Beautiful Mind. Remember, she was nominated for the Oscar for that. She
got the Oscar for that movie. Yeah,
she was in the Anne Lee Hulk movie. I remember that. Mm-hmm. That was, and then she was in the American remake of Dark Water, which was a Japanese horror movie.
Yeah.
Which you like Jennifer Connelly? Have you ever seen Phenomena, the Dario Argento movie?
No, actually, I haven't.
I highly recommend it. See the international cut, not the American cut. But she did
a number of like Italian films kind of early on.
Yeah, she did a couple. She did She did actually Once Upon a Time in America. She was in that.
Once Upon a Time in America. Yeah.
That's right.
Mhm.
I
You know
remember
what?
that.
David brings up Jennifer Connelly was in
Rocketeer.
Rocketeer.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wish that they had done the Rocket. Well, wasn't that a Disney film?
Touchstone Pictures, yeah.
Touchstone. Okay.
Mhm.
Disney still,
I
yeah.
I wish it had been done. It should have gotten a PG-13/R rating if they went comic accurate. I wish they had gone that route.
The
Yeah.
funny
wish they
thing was her character comic was based on Betty Page, right?
Yes.
Jennifer Connelly
yeah.
doesn't look like Betty Page. Jennifer Connelly has her own iconic look, though. I'm not picking on Jennifer Connelly.
But
She's-
very specifically, the character
Yeah.
was supposed to have been a model like Betty Page.
right.
The same kind of modeling Betty Page.
Yeah, they
did.
just they couldn't they wouldn't go there in the movie because
That's
they
a
wanted it
damn
to be
shame.
a family
That's
thing.
just
but
that's just
Disney shouldn't own the rights to the Rocketeer. That's a waste.
yeah. No, I agree with you 100%.
no.
Let me throw a couple out at you. What about Rosa Salazar?
Oh, from Alita.
Yep.
Yeah, she was good in that movie. I like her.
And then she's
Also,
done that-
Jennifer Connelly also in that movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's funny about Rosa Salazar. I remember she did that awful triple short for, I think it was Discovery, and everyone hated that short, but I still can't hate her in it because I just love Rosa
Right.
Salazar so much. It's like,
She's in a streaming show now. I've never seen. I don't know what it's called.
Oh, the what is it?
was it the animated one, that weird animated?
Yes,
There's an
ironically-
animated one. Yeah, with the
Ironically,
rotoscoping.
just like-
Yeah.
Exactly. Ironically, just like in Alita, you don't actually see her. You see her doing motion capture for an animation over her.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
I don't know. I find that terribly ironic. I mean, she's becoming to motion capture what Ron Perlman used to be to wearing prosthetic makeup in every role.
Yeah.
Or
That I kind of
what
wish he'd
about-
stuck to. But that's
Yeah.
neither here nor there.
And I wish he'd stay off the social media too.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And what about Ana de Armas? You know who I'm talking about.
Oh,
I
I know
like
who
her.
you're
I like her, but I think it's a little early to kind of tell where she's going to go career-wise.
True.
I can't see her as I can't see her as Marilyn Monroe, but who knows? Maybe
I
that
haven't
movie
even
will
seen
work out.
that yet. Yeah. But I'll tell you something. I mean, that one appearance in Blade Runner.
Blade Runner was
Yeah.
Blade Runner was my favorite movie that year, and I know that's kind of I'm kind of in the minority there.
No, I
but,
loved it. It was my favorite movie of the last decade.
I
Say
thought
that.
it was great.
Yeah.
I know Gary over at Pulp Culture Minefield. He was not happy with that movie at all, and he's basically the president of the Blade Runner fan club for all intents and purposes. But
Yeah. I noticed some Blade Runner fans that really got angry about it. I loved it though.
didn't like it.
Yeah,
Because the world building, which, like it or not, Ridley Scott is responsible for. Villeneuve brought you back to that world.
Yeah.
I believed that, okay, that's the world of Blade Runner 30 years on.
He used
And I want to walk around in that world. And I can't say that about a lot of other movies.
Good point.
Villeneuve, he used actual sets. He used CG sparingly because he said that his actors are not responsible for the world building. He wants his actors inhabiting the world when he's shooting. I thought that was fascinating when he said that.
Yeah.
So he would, he didn't have any CG sets or anything like that, and real models I think were used for a lot of the shit. So he used CG when it just made sense, but yeah.
I was thinking about the scene in Blade Runner where she's basically a hologram, right?
Mhm.
And she that whole scene where she hires a surrogate. I mean, it's a very
Mackenzie Davis. Yeah.
Yes.
Great
it's a
scene.
very
Great scene.
sexy scene and
And
everything.
it
And
is.
yes, I get that. But even putting that aside, that is so emotional, that scene. This idea of an AI showing love, I guess, is the best way to put it. And yet they challenge that later on, where it's like, was she really doing that, or is that just her programming to imprint on him or whatever? And it was done so clearly, and in my personal opinion, so much better than that whole, is Decker really, a replicant, fan theory.
Yeah.
It really is a fan theory. You can't come back to me.
And without going too far down that rabbit hole, because we'll be here all night if we do.
We'll be here for 3 hours.
I've always been, because I know that that's a subject you do not broach with certain YouTubers. You just, whenever somebody goes, but Deckard was a replicant, shut the fuck up. Oh, shit, now we're here all night. Damn it. And, but I am of the mind, and this is one of the times where I'm going to get stuck with Spears. I don't think it matters either way if he's a replicant or not, because it's the same story being told.
True.
In the end, he gains the humanity that he either lost as a Blade Runner or never had as a replicant.
That's a great way to look at it. I hadn't thought about it that way.
I think, if you, depending on which side of the argument you're on, it's still the same story and it still ends the same.
No, you're absolutely
right.
And
that's what, for me anyway, works about the movie. And, and Blade Runner, which is now a 40-year-old movie.
Yes.
Which I can't get my head around. And
I know.
and D. Pensac brought up earlier in the chat that The Thing, which was the same year, also 1982. And what a great year for movies 1982 was. And I'm always a big, when it comes to Blade Runner, I'm a big proponent of the final cut. But when I was a kid, I had the theatrical version for so long. Which came out. It was the first movie that my dad ever bought when we got a VHS, was Blade Runner. Because he loved that movie so much.
Nice.
And so when I was... One of the things that convinced me personally that maybe Deckard was a replicant was the narration.
Yep.
Because it sounds just so robotic. And now I know that it was because Harrison Ford didn't want to do it, and he basically tanked it on purpose, hoping they would cut it, and they didn't. But I thought what was good about the narration, other than the fact that I was, again, watching this movie, I was 9 when Blade Runner came out, 8, 9. When Blade Runner came out, I needed the narration, because I didn't know what the hell was going on when I first saw the movie. It was a little over my head at the time, But I thought, well, even then I was like, wow, that narration is really bad.
Well,
I need it, but I thought it was bringing his performance down a little bit. But now I know why it was done that way. But at the time.
See, that was honestly my gateway into noir,
Yeah.
So from there, I started going back to the old classic noir films, and I'm like, okay, I get it. Narration has its place, and I also felt like, I mean, it never entered my consciousness that he might have been a replicant, simply because in the context of the original edit of the theatric release of that film, they had established replicants, have these very short lifespans. And so he couldn't be a replicant because he clearly was going to live longer. He, is telling this story after the fact, and all the cues seem to be saying, yeah, no, this is just a straight noir story and it is what it is. And I feel like this idea that, oh, no, I always intended, to be ambiguous. I'm sorry, death of the author. I didn't see it in your first draft of it. That's what you released. I'm sorry. Same thing I say to Lucas. No. Han Solo shot first. It was on you to establish if that was not the case, and you didn't do that. So you don't get to go back and change things, just my personal take on it. In fact, again, those that follow me on Twitter, I scanned a page from the book. What is it? Han Solo and Han Solo at Star's End.
Oh yeah.
And I highlighted the line where he says, "I prefer to shoot first as opposed to shooting second." And this was back in 1979. I'm like, this writer got it.
Yeah.
This is who Han Solo was. You completely changed the character if you change that scene.
Because
you don't live that life where you let somebody shoot first. That's just stupid. That's how you get dead. Well, I mean, unless it was done now, nobody dies in Star Wars now. You could be run through with a lightsaber and survive.
Yeah,
you get your guts shot out, and they just stick some robotic stuff in you, and you're fine.
This blade that can melt through steel, right? But you get stuck with it. Oh no, does absolutely nothing to your internal organs. It's just fine. Hello and welcome to Recall.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I know people were mixed on Phantom Menace, but I remember the first scenes was you saw them going through one of the metal doors with the lightsaber. You were actually seeing what the lightsaber could do in the first few scenes in that movie. Remember?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And somebody did a video recently about that, where they were breaking apart the lore. I think it was Shadiversity. He's got a love-hate relationship with the lightsaber. And he was talking about that scene in particular. And my personal take on it is that pretty well establishes what we saw with lightsabers, cutting off the hand and cauterizing the wound and stuff. If anything, the outlier, in my opinion, is seeing blood on the ground in the cantina shot.
To be fair, though, wasn't it an alien that got his head? Maybe the physiology was different or something. I don't know.
No, because I'm sorry, if you cut through something, you cauterize it.
But that's the only time you see blood from a lightsaber wound that I remember, anyway.
Yeah.
Did you know that there was a different scene filmed with a different hand lying on the ground?
What?
It was originally supposed to be Dr. Savaz's hand that was on the ground, and not Pondo Baba's. So it was a tan jacket with a humanoid hand. And they decided, and I've seen the footage of it, I've seen the behind the scenes with that scene in it, and it was decided from a ratings point of view that was too realistic, so it was better that it be an alien hand rather than a human hand. So they changed it to Pondo Baba. But if you think about it, if you don't see that hand, you're not sure what exactly happens to those two.
Yeah.
They get cut down, but you don't know exactly how, right? In fact, if it wasn't really until The Mandalorian that we established that Dr. Savaz survives. For all we knew, he was gutted and, bled out on the floor there, But anyway, Mananui's calling me out. What did I do? The guy that led is why I think Lucas kind of made things up as he went along. Well, I would say in this particular case, I would say at least in that first movie, um, you got to give some credit to Marsha Lucas. There was a lot of editing decisions that changed the movie,
Right.
and he did some stuff that probably wouldn't have gone over real well with audiences, and Marsha kind of punched it up. And this is an example of editing where they were like, nope, we gotta not have it be the human hand, it's got to be the alien hand. So that's why, as I'm putting together my diorama for the cantina, I have the Black Series Pondo Baba with the removable hand, so you can have both styles of hand, and I can take whichever one I want off and put it on the ground or whatever. But yeah, I'm a geek that way. But so yeah, what I'm going to need to do is step away for a second. So Boomer, I'm going to need you to the questions that I've been talking over you on and that you've been wanting to ask.
What?
Steve, go ahead, and I'll be back in 5 minutes.
All right. So let's see. Now I'm kind of stumped. What am I going to ask you? Are there any other Amazon series you've liked, like you did Outer Range? Any ones that have been coming on? Didn't they have that one with Sissy Spacek and the actor who played J. Jonah Jameson?
I haven't seen that yet.
I don't know if it's
I
aired
can't-
yet. It may not have aired yet.
Night Sky, I think is the name of it.
Yes.
I have not seen that yet. So
Because I was wondering, is this going to be another one of these
It
shows
sure
like
is.
Outer Range, where it's science fiction, but there's a mystery, and I don't know.
it has that look to it, though. Yeah.
I'm a big. Actually, I got very excited the other day. I found out that they apparently it's on AMC Plus. They made a series based on the Ipcris file. I don't know if you're familiar with that at all. Michael Caine did a bunch of spy
Michael
movies
Caine.
in the '60s called the Harry Palmer series, and
Harry Potter.
apparently this is based on one of those, and it's a new series. So it takes place in the '60s too. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. But
First time hearing of it.
okay, yeah, no, I didn't hear about it.
I'll have
hear
to look
about
that one up.
I didn't hear
Who's
about
in
it the other day. I don't know. I think one of the actors. I'll find out for you. I think it was one of the actors from the movie about Queen. I think. I'm trying to think though. Ipcris File series. I'll find the lead. But did you see Top Gun?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I did.
You think that's gonna be the best movie of the summer?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I can't see anything. I can't see anything knocking it down. You got a movie that for once people are actually going back to see 4 or 5. I heard somebody the other day say they've already seen it 8 times. So
Really?
you know,
Okay. All right.
it definitely has a rewatch value.
Did you see the trailer for the next Mission Impossible?
I did. I actually did a video on it, and
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I like that. I like that quite a bit. That looks really good.
I like the return of the gentleman from the first movie. That was an interesting callback. How remember the one who was
The Kittredge, yeah, they brought Kittredge back.
they
Yeah.
brought Kittredge back, and I never liked Kittredge even in the first movie. He's.
Well, I mean, you kind of.
I figured he was a government bureaucrat. But I don't know what he is in this. It's.
He might be head of IMF again. I mean, they lost like the last few guys, so
Yes. In fact, I kept
Because
expecting. Yeah.
they killed Tom Wilkinson off. Spoiler alert, people. They killed Tom Wilkinson off. They killed Alec Baldwin off.
Also,
Which in retrospect was probably best.
yes, that was a close one.
We don't know what happened to Anthony Hopkins after the second movie.
No.
Um,
Yeah. So
Lawrence Fishburne was in the third one.
yes.
Because every movie, with the exception of the last 2, the head of IMF is always someone different.
Yeah.
And I always thought they were working up to eventually Ethan will
Becoming
take
the
over.
head of the IMF.
He
That's
will
what I
become the
expected.
head of IMF. That's the way
I thought
I
that's
always.
what they were setting up, which is why they brought so bad with names. Hawkeye actor, you know what I'm talking about. He
Uh,
was
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy
Yeah.
Renner. I thought Jeremy Renner might be taking over, but that's not what happened, which is fine. But I almost thought that's why are they bringing Jeremy Renner onto the team, and I figure, oh, is he eventually going to take over the Ethan Hunt role? But
That movie certainly heavily hinted that that's what they were going to do. But
apparently, the Ipcris File is
Yeah.
starring Joe Cole. Do you know who that is?
sure.
Joe Cole.
Oh, the guy from was he the guy who was in Gangs of London?
It might, yeah, he might have been. Yeah. In fact, let me see. Got the whole cast here. Joe Cole as Harry Palmer, Lucy Boynton as Jean Courtney, Tom Hollander as Major Dalby, the director of the organization. I don't know. It might be good. I'm desperate. I'm looking for good TV.
Interesting cast. Yeah, I'll have to find that one. No.
It's an ITV production apparently, so it is a British production. So and it's on AMC Plus. But I have to tell you, we talk about movies, television lately. Oh, I mean, you really liked Outer Range, but have there been any television properties that have disappointed you recently, or maybe you're not as much of a TV watcher as I am, but I don't know.
I'm not as much of a TV watcher of late because I thought a lot of the shows just got either too boring or too political. The only I don't really pay all that much attention to TV. I still watch the original NCIS from time to time, even though I'm kind of unhappy with kind of the direction that's taken.
Does that have Gary Cole on it now as the head of
It's got Gary Cole on it now.
I like him. So
yeah, he's fine, but they've made some. I don't like the way they wrote out Mark Harmon. I don't like how they wrote out Bishop. I don't like that they killed off Palmer's wife because that was a virtue signal up the ass. I didn't like that. I didn't like that they killed off Fornell's daughter. That was just too cruel, I thought. There's been like this, and NCIS has never been shy about killing off major characters or side characters.
Right.
A couple of them go a year. You get kind of used to it. But there are a couple of characters they killed off that I didn't think they needed to kill off. I don't like. I think they could have written Mark Harmon out of the show better. I mean, it's open. He could come back. He's still in the main credits, listed as the star, but or at least he was in the last episode I saw.
He's still an executive producer, isn't he?
To my knowledge, yeah. But the thing is
this is why you don't watch television.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I don't want. It's like they're trying to impress people who I know are not watching that kind of a show.
Yeah. That's a big problem. CBS.
And CBS is very bad about that. NBC. I remember when NBC. They used to call NBC must-see television.
It was Thursday nights. It was Seinfeld, Friends. You got ER on at 10. That was
ER, and even before that, Hill Street Blues.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
they would never put Seinfeld on today.
They would not put Seinfeld on today. They would not put Hill Street Blues on today. They wouldn't put NYPD Blue on today. Sure. All of the shows that I considered great would not be done today, or at least would not be done the same way. I fell out with ER eventually because they started going a little. I was the same way. The time I now refer to as pre-woke. And
Probably
they were
quaint by
starting.
what
They
we're
were
dealing
starting
with
to
now,
kind
but
of work some of that in there. And
There was an episode of NCIS. No, not NCIS. I'm sorry. It was a different acronym. It was no, it was Law and Order SVU.
Mhm.
And again, you're right. It was in the era before, woke became a thing, and they just did something very political that just offended the hell out of me, and I never watched another damn episode.
yeah.
I was done.
Mhm.
But anyway, no, yeah, you're
no, I
absolutely
mean,
right.
I completely get it. And just I had DirecTV, and I don't want to advertise DirecTV on the show, but I had DirecTV, and
Is
recently,
DirecTV still a thing?
it's still a thing, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. And you notice now that I no longer have it, my Wi-Fi actually is a little bit better.
Oh, okay.
Ba-doom, boom. And I said, I got rid of it because who wants 600 channels of people telling you you're a scumbag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the point? I'm not going to pay for that.
Also,
What, you think I'm a fool? No.
all the big series now are on streaming. I don't know what cable or
Yeah.
satellite are trying to compete with. They keep getting the fights with stations now, and it's like all these exclusive shows, they're on these different apps. Like even this, the one I was mentioning a little while ago, the Ipcris file, that's on AMC Plus exclusive. And the only reason I have AMC Plus was I got a good deal on it for $24 for the whole year, so I figured, okay, I'll pick that up. It's on Black Friday, so.
So that brings up a question we've kind of touched on in previous streams, but let's hit it straight on. We still have this issue where we have a couple dozen streaming channels or services, premium channels that you have to pay a subscription fee to every month to watch, legally anyway. And each channel only has like one or two shows on it that you may or may not want to see.
Yeah.
How does this model continue, or does it?
It doesn't. It can't. I mean, eventually, you've got like, what, 120 streaming channels, or at least it seems like it. And everybody cannot watch all of them all the time.
Right.
Eventually, some of them are going to fail. Rest in peace, Crackle.
I never even heard of that one.
Exactly.
It's where he went to for Seinfeld reruns, and that was it.
I'll go you one better, Quibi.
I don't know that one either. Wow,
There you go.
Is that like
You
the
are
Tubi,
well informed,
of 10 years
Stephen.
ago or something?
And I think all of like the Quibi stuff, I think, is on Amazon now. To be
Funny.
honest,
Well,
I mean, the
think-
point is, for one thing, everybody's not going to be able to afford all of these things. That's why right now, just what's the word I'm looking for? Just to be honest,
Oversaturation?
oversaturation. The only streaming service that I personally currently have right now is Amazon. I dump the rest because there are other ways you can watch these things, which we're not going to talk about or condone at this time. And you just can't afford them all right now.
No.
And then you get the and then occasionally they will make that decision for you. Netflix, you know what you did, Netflix, and somebody should have been fired for that. We're not going to go into it, but
There are a lot of things
this-
Netflix did, yeah. But yeah.
they're going to exactly oversaturate the market, and they're not all going to survive. There's only going to be maybe 2 or 3 of them that I think have any real shot at lasting. That's Amazon. I think HBO Max, just because they are who they are. HBO Max will probably stick around for a little while longer.
Yeah. They have a.
I think Hulu has a pretty good shot at lasting if they can get away from Disney. Because Disney is dragging them down right now. Netflix is imploding, and you can go back and watch Culture Casino's videos about Netflix, and I'm sure Valiant Renegade probably has done videos about them. I'm sure.
Here, let me say this about it.
Yeah.
Do you know what's keeping this model going? It's the fact that currently almost all of these services have this model where you can subscribe, watch what you want to watch, and then unsubscribe. There is going to come a point where the model is going to shift to a contract.
Yeah.
It's going to be yearly. It's going to be cheaper to get 3 years, whatever, pay in advance, whatever. And when they lock you in for a period of time, then people are going to start going, well, I got to choose the one that I want and exclude all others. And which one is that going to be? Honestly, Amazon probably would win in that scenario.
It's the one I picked.
And the reason is, it's not like I even really watch anything on Amazon. I have it just because, we have the Amazon. What is that service called? Amazon Prime, right? Because we got the delivery thing and the ordering and the, get our groceries and all that kind of stuff. And we just so happen to also receive this streaming service that I never friggin' watch until some rando on the internet recommends Outer Range.
I was that rando.
You were that rando, right?
Me and Kate Moss, randos.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh yes, you're in good company with that one. Right?
Oh yeah.
But
I do like
there, by the way.
I do like HBO Max because if you think about it, what HBO Max
He's
is,
always
it's
stumping for HBO Max.
It's not. No, I'm not always stumping. You remember the early days? If you remember the early days, remember I would bring up there's HBO Max, there's HBO Plus, HBO Go, and you were like, Warner Brothers, sort this crap out because
they did because they all folded it into HBO Max.
Yeah. Now, the problem with HBO is they have these periods where they're doing must-see television, great, and then they fall off. Like, remember, it was all about The Sopranos for a bit, and then The Sopranos ended, and then John from Cincinnati crashed and burned, and then they kept having shows about psychologists. That's not why people tuned into The Sopranos, guys. It was for the crime stuff. Then eventually they brought Game of Thrones on, and then that was the biggest thing ever. So I guess we're all waiting for that next big hit from HBO to come back, but just as
the trouble is that they're not trying to find the next big hit. They're trying to find the next Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Well, apparently they're doing a prequel and a sequel series. So I don't know.
Let's say that's what they're planning, but I'll believe it when I.
Well, the prequel is actually happening. That's going to be airing. So, yeah.
Do now they're saying there's going to be a Jon Snow sequel series. Oh, great! 8 years of Kit Harington going, I don't want it.
Yeah,
what?
Exactly.
You are king of the North. Why are you acting like you have no agency?
Oh man!
God! Oh man!
It's not just Jon Snow who knows nothing. It's them that knows nothing. It's like, well, no, I take that back. I understand why they're doing it. They are trying whatever they can to capitalize on whatever they have. So they're going to beat this horse into the ground, even though it's already dead. It's not moving. They just don't realize it.
Yeah, it's like that meme. Stop hitting him. He's already dead.
Man. Warner Brothers, they completely screwed up Harry Potter. I forgot about that with the...
Well...
That's another thing they had, which was like the biggest deal ever, and now it slipped.
Well, that brings us to another point, and that's the in quotes talent that is pretty much tanking projects. When you've got these people that are, groomers, that are running from the law, that are, defecating in people's beds and,
Yeah.
slandering other, Hollywood, personalities in public. And it's like, you know, there's scandals that enhance and make people want to pay attention, and there's scandals that turn people off.
Ezra
And,
Miller,
Yeah. Because here's what I'm waiting. Here's what I'm waiting for. Michael Keaton is going to go. Hey, kid, come here. Just follow me back here a second. Dinner reservation for one.
exactly.
You know.
It's exactly right. Well, that's assuming that he could even find him. So far, no one can find Ezra Miller. He's on the lam.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I don't have DirecTV, so I don't watch the news anymore. And legacy news, don't get me started on that shit. But is this being reported on
Yeah.
Are they talking about it at all?
Yeah,
Because I think it should be the top story. He is a fugitive on the fucking run. Ezra Miller. This is him. This is what he looks like. Go get him.
No,
he
he is actually in the mainstream media. In fact, both he and Amber Heard, I've been seeing some stuff in the trades about them, and the winds are against them. The Hollywood institution is turned against both of them, and are basically saying that Disney and Warner Brothers should completely disavow both of them.
They should.
For the sake of their businesses.
They absolutely should.
When you see that, that's kind of a big deal. It's like, wow, when even the Wokosos are turning on them, that sends a very, very clear message. But honestly, I haven't even had a chance to talk to Aged Boomer about this. I probably would have brought it up when we talk about it on Sunday, but I feel like the Ezra Miller thing is become this generation's Roman Polanski. Hollywood's going to disavow him. He's on the lam. He's never going to work again. He can't as long as he, I mean, what? He takes an acting job. The feds show up at wherever he's supposed to film at. I mean, he can't work. He's done. He's just friggin' done.
Yeah.
What does this mean for the Flashpoint movie?
Well, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Because they're either going to have to completely reshoot the movie because he's in every scene.
I mean, this is beyond even Kevin Spacey territory at this point, I think.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
I mean the point there is that Kevin Spacey could be replaced, and he was.
Right.
Amber Heard, if she is only in just 10 to 20 minutes of the movie, can be replaced.
Easily be replaced. Or the current rumor is just killed off screen and she's not in it at all.
Yeah, but that's bullshit too. They gotta do something. Because even I'm saying don't kill her off screen. Either just recast her.
Just recast her. It's
whatever.
mirror. No one cares.
No one cares. Is anyone even going to go see that movie anyway? I don't think they will.
Well, here's what if you don't mind my interrupting, here's what kills me. Warner Brothers seemed to be sleeping. Aquaman was a huge hit when it came out. It
was.
Worldwide.
I liked that movie. I liked it. I had fun with it.
They could have done so much with Aquaman. They could have done an animated series. They did like a Batman animated series. They could have done for Aquaman. They could and just keep the momentum going. And they've completely dropped the ball. I don't get it. And it's not even like I'm the hugest Jason Momoa fan, but the movie was a hit.
They're making rookie mistakes. They're making these obvious rookie mistakes. It's like, and Critical Drinker, to go back to Critical Drinker again, the reason this is going wrong is because you're seeing movies being written, produced, directed by children.
Yeah. By
people who are overgrown children who don't know any better, or at least are acting like they don't know any better. That's how you get the Ezra Millers and the Amber Heards and Jesus, what? I'm
and
sorry,
I think
Netters,
you were
but
there
you know,
for it. I think you were there for it, Stephen. Midnight's Edge did a great talk in one of their afternoon shows about this Ezra Miller situation and speculation on what they could and should do and whatnot. Matanui makes a great point that they kind of touched on there. You'd need to make an entirely new movie to get Ezra
yeah,
Miller out of it. And they were equivocating on, well, they filmed so much, they've wasted so much, blah, blah,
you
blah,
know,
blah, blah. Look, there's a bigger problem here than even just Ezra Miller and this one movie. They have a problem with their whole DC universe.
yeah,
They need to buckle down, figure out what the fuck they're doing with it. And yeah, they should refilm Flashpoint so that they can reboot their entire DC universe. But they need to have the plan in place first.
yeah.
Yes, it is millions of dollars that they'll have lost on this. Fuck it. They have pissed away so much money on DC because they are completely rudderless. They need to figure their shit out. And like I'm always saying, shit or get off the damn pot.
Well, I could already tell Zaslav is like, we own Superman. What have you been doing with him? It's like,
And another YouTuber that I will no longer endorse, but he made an excellent point at one point. Superman is the cornerstone of the DC universe. Any universe building has to start with Superman. And well, they misstepped with Man of Steel, and it just went downhill from there. And any successes they had, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, so forth, were accidental. They were incidental. They weren't even, part of any grand plan. And that's almost a bigger problem. It's like, well, if we scrap all this, we got to get rid of Aquaman and Shazam and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I mean
No.
that's the thing. I mean, you've got the Snyderverse people on one side, and then you have these other people on the other side who want to reboot the Snyderverse and go, okay, here's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to get rid of Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck. They're why people are watching the fucking movies.
Yeah.
Exactly nobody is watching DC for Ezra Miller. Nobody is watching DC for Amber Heard. They're watching it because they like Ben Affleck as Batman and Cavill's great as Superman, even though they've done actually jack squat with both of them. You don't take away what the people want to see.
Gal Gadot.
And who the people want. Gal Gadot.
Let me tell you something about Gal Gadot.
Please.
I was one of those people that was against her being Wonder Woman. She doesn't have the physique, blah, 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 blah. I saw that first movie. I hated it, but I did not hate her. She totally won me over for perfect casting.
Yeah.
She did a great job as Wonder Woman.
It's 2/3 of a movie. Yeah, I agree.
Exactly. And the fact that they said it in World War I, I'm sorry, you just killed too much of your canon to ever have
said it World War II. That was Captain America.
Well, that's their own fault.
That was what happened.
Look,
that's what happened.
They were trying. They were basically trying to do their Captain America with that movie.
But they didn't want to do World War II because they figured they'd be ripping it off.
Here's the rant that I've made for a long time, and I want to make it again because it's my channel, and damn it, I can. Warner Brothers has owned these characters so far before anyone had any cinematic universes. It is all of the DC universe has been under Warner Brothers, lock, stock, and barrel, all the way back to the 70s. Okay, they could have done this with Christopher Reeve and whomever they wanted to. Okay, and they didn't, and they sat on it and bullshitted around and did complete reboots over and over and over again in TV and whatever. Meanwhile, Marvel sold off the rights or leased off the rights to different companies, went bankrupt, got pulled out of bankruptcy, bought up by Disney. Disney spent decades, almost decades, buying back the rights to all of these licenses to bring it all under one roof. They still haven't actually done that. Sony is still the holdout. And somehow Marvel still beat DC to a cinematic universe with success.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, Warner Brothers hasn't figured their shit out yet. Even after they've seen the successful model, all you got to do is do what they did. That's totally the Hollywood model. Do what that other guy did.
How many
Give
different
us some of that.
How many different Batman?
No, they
universes are
They
there?
can't even manage that.
What, are they dealing with like 4 different Batman universes? You have Batfleck, you have Michael Keaton Batman, you have this the new one they just did, and then you have, I guess, the Joker movies, right? Which are different universes.
We live in the era of the multiverse. The fucking multiverse. That's their way of saying we don't know what the fuck we're doing. We're going to have 12 different Batmen and they're all in different universes. And none of it interacts or it all does. We don't know. Fucking make it up yourselves, fans. That's what fan theories are for.
You know, it's like Boomer and I were bringing up earlier with Halloween. You know, that's a series that became a choose-your-own timeline.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and DC has become the Halloween films. Just choose your own. You know, choose your own timeline and hope that it sticks, and honestly, it doesn't work. This is why. Yeah, this is why every. Sorry to interrupt. This is why every comic book fan, every real comic book fan, always says the same thing: the multiverse does not work.
Yeah,
that's the one thing that every comic book fan seems to be in agreement about. Multiverse plot lines ultimately do not work because they're just an excuse to go back and reboot everything.
That's a good
and
point.
It's not going to work on film.
That's
because
why...
they're stuck on actors that people don't like, who shouldn't even... Got actors who shouldn't even be walking among us, quite frankly.
Yeah.
You have children writing and directing these films. You have these studio heads that oftentimes are too busy running for political office or trying to, look good in front of, certain groups of people. You can't get anything done that way. If you ran just one more thing. If you ran a business the way Hollywood runs their business, you would be out of business.
True. That's very, very true.
I mean, it's that simple.
I would make the case for the multiverse that there are two ways that it can work. If you go back to the old pre-crisis DC universe, it was working very well. You were even able to cross them over. It was very clear what was going on. And you could, oh, geez, here we go again. I'm glad I'm this popular. Report unwanted commercial spam.
It says naked, but that's spelled wrong. It's NEKKID. No, I'm kidding. I'm just...
Thank you there. I reported it. You can't. You.
I don't know if what I'm doing is doing any good, but here we go.
I don't either. In fact, I put the. I didn't want to put censorship into my chat, but I added the F word because one of the previous ones, I was like, well, nobody really uses that word in my chat, so maybe it's a way that I could weed out some of this. I don't know.
No.
But I don't know. I don't want to have to censor. I want you guys to be able to be as blue with your language as I am on my stream, but
Okay.
maybe I'm going to have to start doing that just to try and tamp down
Keep the
these
bots
bots.
out.
Well, you're
You guys, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're trying to type something and it won't take it because the word is censored, just find some creative, clever way to get your
Just
thing
use
across.
just like in comics when
That's
they have
what I
to use a
do.
cuss word. You know.
Yeah. Not that I'm trying to censor you, just this is why I'm doing it. So, but anyway, no. So in the pre-crisis, it worked. I understand that it got complicated, so they wanted to simplify it. That's why Crisis happened. Crisis was kind of a masterpiece of a crossover. I thought it was well executed and well done. And unfortunately, they just kept pulling at the strings and unraveled it over time. And that's really, really sad. The other way to do a multiverse is the way Marvel did it with their What If series. And I'm not talking about that streaming thing that you guys all saw. I'm talking about the comic series that it was based on, where you have a watcher who says this is what happened in your universe, but there are other timelines in the multiverse, and it's a one shot, and it's done, and you never revisit it again.
Right.
It's an interesting kind of thought experiment, and some of them were really gut punches. What if Sue Storm died during childbirth? That was a tough one. What if the Hulk went berserk? What if Aunt May had died instead of Uncle Ben? Those were some really, really good stories, And every now and
It'd be
again,
like an
they did.
anthology type thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. There was one that was actually quite funny. It was, how comics back in the day used to have your main story, and then sometimes you'd have a shorter follow-up story. There was a follow-up What If. After a more serious story, there was the comical What If Aunt May had been bitten by the radioactive spider? And it really is funny. The spider goes into Peter's book bag and goes home with him, and she's taking his books out of his bag or something, gets bitten by the spider, gets these superpowers, and she's like, well, I have these special abilities. I should really do something with this to help humanity. She puts together this costume, and the costume is the kind of thing you'd expect your typical stereotypical old woman to wear, the bonnet with the dress, and the poofy arms. It's really hysterical. And the bloomers. Yeah, it was hysterical. Oh, and I can't tell Peter about this. He'll worry about me. He's so frail. I can't let him know. And it's just hysterical. And then how Peter Parker has his clever quips and stuff when he's fighting with the bad guy. Her version of that is to dress them down the way an old woman would. Did your mother raise you this way? This is absolutely wrong of you. This is illegal and immoral. And
your family's ashamed of you. It's like don't you have any shame?
Oh, it's so funny. It's just that is how you do your multiverse. What they've done is they've made it, oh, we fucked up. This is stupid. It's just an alternate universe. We're going to recast and reboot. No, that's, oh my God. I don't know. Wait a minute. Uncle Ben gets bitten by the spider, and Norman Osborn ends up becoming the Emerald Elf, a name that I curse every day that I lack the creativity to have not come up with that name. Yeah. Is that an actual What If, Sir Torrin?
The Emerald Elf. Oh, man.
I don't know that one, but that actually sounds interesting. But Ghost Rider apparently owned a burger joint in one. Actually, I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Mr. Matchstick on my.
Were the burgers flame broiled?
Yeah, exactly. was suggesting that DC reboot, you don't necessarily have to get rid of the actors that you like. He's recommending that Jason Momoa be recast in a rebooted universe as Lobo. And I thought about it and I was like, you know what? That's actually pretty damn good casting. I can see that. But no, I don't have as big a problem with Aquaman as I do with some of the others. And there's nothing to say in a reboot you couldn't keep the continuity of that, that Aquaman, but it really does friggin' need to be rebooted. And they gotta get their Batman shit squared away. I mean,
Oh no.
excuse me, guano. I guess in this instance it would be guano, right? Get your Bat guano figured out already, for crying out
Are they
loud.
doing a sequel to the Pattinson one? I guess they are. I don't know.
Well, they're doing a sequel to
Probably,
the Joker.
We'll talk about that Sunday. If I'm part of me thinks it's just a troll. That the rumor is. I mean, I know you like musicals, so maybe it'll be right up your alley, right?
Look, I thought that the sparkly bats was never going to happen, and it did. At this point, I can friggin' believe anything. A Joker Harley musical with
Lady Gaga as Harley
Gaga is hardly the most.
And she'll sing
ridiculous thing they can
Joker
come up with.
face instead of poker face.
You know,
Oh shit! Why didn't I think of that? Oh my god, that's kind of brilliant. That's kind of brilliant.
yeah,
Joker face.
it is such a crazy. It's one of those ideas that it's so crazy it just might work.
We'll see. I don't know. I've been
and-
over
and
Harley
this-
Quinn for a while, so
This wasn't just my idea, but I heard somebody say earlier, if they do something along the lines of like Rocky Horror Picture Show,
Ha!
maybe it might work.
They also have to stick with the convention they established in the first movie.
Well, they
and
do.
make it
They do.
make
But,
it the whole idea that this is all in his head. This isn't really happening.
Yeah, and that's how it works. You have the grounded stuff going on, and then you have like this musical going on in his head or in her head. For all we know, it could that all the musical stuff could be coming from her. For all we know, we don't know yet.
Matt Inouye never liked Harley Quinn to start with.
I can understand
Yeah,
that.
I'm over her.
Do you mean
Yeah.
literally from the animated series or the live action interpretation of her? Because I could totally agree with you about the live action interpretation. I love Margot Robbie. I have no problem with her. She's great. She's not Harley Quinn.
No.
She never was.
Well,
If you don't have that New York accent, then you're not Harley.
well, she was sort of doing one, wasn't she?
Not
Kind
really, not
of.
effectively, and not yeah. It's got to be full on over the top, or it shouldn't happen.
It's supposed to sound like a working class accent because that's what she was when it was saying she was a.
Do you know who I
flunked out of
felt?
beauty school. She wasn't a shrink.
What I thought was actually a better live action introduction for Harley. I don't think it ever hit its stride, but Mia Sara's interpretation in Birds of Prey, that short-lived TV series. You guys know what I'm talking about?
I saw a couple episodes of it. Yeah,
Yeah. She
it was like
played
Smallville for Batman, right? That's what it reminded me of.
exactly.
Like,
Well, it was the same production company. Yeah.
Yeah.
TRP production company.
it dealt with metahumans again. Like, what do you?
Yeah, and they were doing I see, unfortunately, whereas Smallville went very drama, very, I don't know what you'd call it, less comic book, more character. I feel like Birds of Prey went the opposite way. It went super comic book accurate to the exclusion of character development. There wasn't enough believability there. There is that happy medium you kind of had to hit. And Mia Sara played Dr. Quinzel, right? And you're assuming it's kind of before she became Harley Quinn. And they seemed to be leading up to it. You need that. I don't feel we ever really got a good origin story for Harley in her actual introduction in the animated series. I think it doesn't
They
make a lot of sense.
they did they well here's what it was. It was a retcon later on where they gave her origin in the New Adventures of Batman, which was like a follow-up series, the original Batman animated series, which they did later on. They went into that. Originally she was just a henchwoman.
Right, exactly.
Like any of the henchmen, so she was a woman, and she like I said, I don't even think she was in a relationship with him in the beginning. That they didn't go there.
The idea of her being a psychiatrist,
that was introduced later,
ends up in some kind of a relationship with him, becomes enamored with him, and then ends up becoming the Harley Quinn that she was. It's very, I don't think it was well enough executed. There wasn't enough setup for it. You need there to be that kind of a setup, you know. When I think about good origins, I think about even though it's not comic accurate, the Catwoman in Batman Returns, you know, that was a good origin story. Right. I felt, you know, you saw that you went from this mousy, very introverted, secretary type, to this, you know, near death or technically raised from the dead, you know, experience and, you know, complete metamorphosis. I could buy it. You don't have that kind of a payoff for going from professional psychiatrist to freaking lunatic, you know. You don't see that.
How did they do her in the comics? Because I know she started on the animated series, but I know they brought her into the comics later on. Did they do that progression of her in the comics?
They just imported her from the animated series, so it was the same origin, and it was just assumed that you knew that. I don't know if they've done multiple iterations of it in the comics, but yeah, it never felt really real. And what would have been great, I don't remember if she was introduced before Arkham Asylum, you know, that comic,
right?
But that would have been a great place to see her as Harleen Quinzel, you know, and imply that some trauma that happened during that event led to it. You know, that would have been interesting, you know. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's a problem for Warner Brothers to frickin' figure out, and they've got much bigger problems, more basic problems to figure out.
What's going on with Universal? We always talk. I feel like we're always talking about Warner Brothers and Disney, but I don't know. Deleted
What's
scenes.
Universal got going? I don't know.
Fast and the Furious. That's their big series, and Jurassic
Never seen
World.
One of those movies, so I can't even talk about it. Honestly, never saw one.
I've only ever seen the first one, so.
They get more outlandish with each one.
Well,
I know. I heard someone drove a car into space in the last one.
Yeah. Anyways,
I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, the all I know about the upcoming movie is that they switched directors kind of mid-production.
That's not good.
From Justin Lin apparently got into it with Vin Diesel and finally just decided, you know,
oh no,
fuck this, shut him out. So he's out, and they brought in the director of the Edward Norton Incredible Hulk movie.
All right.
To do the next one.
Well, he has a track record, I guess, for doing action movies. But
he does, and I had heard recently that Justin Lin got announced as a director on another kind of big budget movie, but I don't remember what it is. We'll probably have to look that up, but he's not hurting for work. Apparently he'd been wanting out anyway, and this was just the excuse. Wow, that's really all I know about it. I know a lot of people were blaming Brie Larson because she's going to be in this one as well. But a lot of people were kind of speculating it was because of her. Nope. Yep. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, YouTube. She didn't do this one. This was
a lot of these.
this was a Vin Diesel special, apparently.
Okay.
A lot of these things, people want to focus in on one thing, but
Yeah.
reality is, it all
Yeah.
has something to do with it. None of this stuff exists in a vacuum.
You have a temperamental lead actor.
Yep.
You have
Yeah,
a director.
I know.
You
the
have a
Rock has had
director-
trouble with him. Yeah.
You have a director who is telling everyone who is willing to listen that he wanted out anyway. So that's what happened.
Yep.
Eventually it came to loggerheads, and he said, "I'm out."
Huh. Okay.
And you notice the second I brought up Brie Larson, we got a bot.
I wonder if there's a connection there.
I mean, one video.
I mentioned. I mentioned Amber Heard, there's a bot. I mentioned Brie Larson, there's a bot. I mentioned Disney, there's a bot. Oh man, I'm killing it tonight.
See, I thought I had said the F word was supposed to. I don't know, man. I don't even know how to stop this stuff. It's crazy. You're right. Okay, let me do an experiment one more time. We'll give it a try. Brie Larson, Brie Larson, Brie Larson, Brie Larson, Brie Larson. Let's see what happens, if anything. No, nothing. Oh well. We're probably at the point where we should start bringing it down. If you could recommend one film, Stephen, to the audience that you think they really need to watch, whether it's a classic film that you think people need to be reminded of, or a current film that they should get out and see, what would it be?
Well, obviously, go out and see Top Gun Maverick, and The Northman is now out on 4K and Blu-ray. Buy it. I'll bring up the movie I brought up earlier, Old Henry.
Oh yeah,
that movie is fantastic. It's great. I don't want to give too much of it away, but it's about this guy who's I guess kind of a farmer. He's living out in the middle of nowhere with his son,
Farmer, yeah.
and he finds this wounded man, and who it turns out is on the run. And the farmer's been trying to keep his son in check, who wants to go out to the city and wants to learn how to shoot and all this. And it's a great character study of this guy, and there is some action that's pretty well done too. Like I said, I don't want to give too much of it away, but that movie is excellent. I could go on. I could do an entire 2 hours just talking about that movie. But I kind of want to wait until everybody has seen it. But
sounds like the kind of thing that could be some content for your channel.
Could
Maybe
be.
do a show
Could
about
be.
that.
Absolutely could be. I kind of want, if I'm going to do something like that, I'd kind of like to get like other people together who've seen it, so we can talk about it, right?
Sure.
Or maybe even or maybe even do a rewatch. Well, you've seen it, so you understand why I'm being kind of
You have to be
careful
careful
what I
because
give
you don't-
away.
You don't want to spoil it. What I can say is that it is a Western,
Yeah,
so that's not spoiling anything, obviously.
it is a Western and everything that goes along with a Western, but
It's low key. You know what's interesting?
very low key. Yeah,
Trace Atkins is in it. Did you
Trace
know that?
Atkins. Yeah.
I didn't recognize him because he didn't have the beard, but I realized he sounds like guy. Where's that voice? That's Trace Adkins shows up in the weirdest movies. It's
He
funny. He's
does.
like he just like
You
I
know,
remember he was in Deepwater Horizon as the guy that
he
accosts Mark
was.
Wahlberg
Yeah.
at the end when he comes out. Like that's Trace Adkins. It's like it's
So, okay. So, although I think we talked about it at the beginning of the show, what do you have coming up this week?
Oh, what do I have coming up? Good question. I don't know. I don't know if we're doing Saturday Serial this week or not. So stay tuned to my Twitter to see if we're going to be coming back with that this week. I'm usually on Pulp Culture Minefield Fridays and Saturdays, but they're not doing shows this week because they're off at a con. So I'm not going to be on that show. They're going to be on, but I'm not going to be on it. If Rambling Canuck is having coming back with his karaoke stream because they've been off for a few weeks.
Sure.
If they're coming back this week, I'll be on there. If not with them, then with Jedi Bill. And Jedi Bill, for those of you who are not following him, why not? Because he's got some great content.
Let me tell you, the only reason
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been over there is just because I've been struggling after the late night of Saturday's rewatch, getting over to Jedi Bill and then doing a song or two. Just haven't been able to for many weeks, and I really miss that. I'd like to get back there.
Right. Because he does karaoke streams, he does rewatches. I'm normally on Sunday afternoons with him when he does westerns. So I don't know if he's going to be on this week. I haven't talked to him in a little bit, but I'm usually on with him on Sunday afternoons. So it's kind of like you see what happened was my schedule changed. And then it kind of changed again, so I'm kind of trying to come back to being on everybody's show after being gone for a little while. So long story short, I co-host a show called Saturday Serial on Bud Boy Productions, Matt Allen's channel. That's 10:30 a.m. on Saturdays. Pulp Culture Minefield, I'm on TGIF, and I'm on the Saturday show. And TGIF usually starts around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard, and the Saturday show is 1 p.m. And then Rambling Canuck, which usually starts at around 10. That's his Saturday night karaoke stream. Jedi Bill does the after show on his channel, which is usually about 1 a.m., 1:30ish. And then he has his Sunday morning show where he does the rewatches of the westerns. And that's usually around 5 o'clock or 5:30. Depending on when he has time to start. Speaking of Jedi Bill, he's not just on Sundays. He also does I think like kung fu type movies or monster type movies on Fridays, and then on Saturdays he does action or war films. I know I was on with him for Fury the other week.
that's a good one.
That is a good one. Assault on Tank 13, as I like to call it. That's usually where I am. The best thing to do is usually stay tuned to my Twitter or stay tuned to my channel. I'm usually pretty good at letting everybody know where I'm going to be. And I'm being a little cautious saying what I'm going to be doing this weekend, because I either don't know yet, or some of the people I usually go on with aren't doing shows this week. But yeah, under normal circumstances, that's where I would be.
Yep. And I just dropped the links for Bud Boy Productions, which is Matt Allen's channel. Jedi Bill, and of course, even though it's in the link below, Stephen Otten's channel as well. Netter's Network, even though that one's in the description, she just dropped hers. Please subscribe to her. She deserves it. She's got another video coming out in the very near future, a makeup video. I don't know about you guys. Maybe some of you might find it useful, but I think it's more for the ladies.
And an organizing video.
She's doing an organizing video too that I didn't know about. She just told us about. So definitely subscribe to her. Tomorrow night over on Big Al Presents, we will, as I mentioned at the top of the show, we will be doing a rewatch of Pacific Rim, which Netter and I have never seen. And I will be simulcasting it on, what is that channel that I use? Cosme, yeah. And I'll have the link at the top, or Al will have the link at the top of the chat. Sunday night, Aged Boomer. What are we going to be talking about, Aged Boomer?
Geeky Geezers, we're going to be talking. There's going to be a Joker sequel. There's some CNN news, which you wanted to bring up, I believe, right?
Yeah, maybe a little political, but I think it's still applicable to.
It's because Warner's owns it, and other stuff too. We got plenty of stuff. It seems like a lighter week this week, but I was checking. We have enough stories, so it's not an issue with that. So
and we'll be keeping an eye throughout the weekend so that we could bring you
Lightyear. I need to know how that's going to do.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll know better by the time we go live on Sunday. That's Sunday night over on Aged Boomer's channel. Again, link in the description.
Amityville in space.
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh no! Have you seen the trailer for this thing?
I did see the trailer for it. I shared it with Big Al. I said, Big Al, when this comes out, you need to do a review of this. It's
the Amityville horror in space.
It looks abso-friggin-lutely horrible. It looks, oh god.
Every other week, it seems like they come out with an Amityville film. There's another a channel I'm a big fan of called Bad Movie Night, and they've been going through all of the Amityville films.
Oh no!
I'm like, why are you doing this to yourselves?
Wasn't there one like with a lamp, with like an evil lamp from the Amityville house? And
the last Rift Tracks that I went to go see was the one with the lamp.
Oh
god, it's awful.
Honestly, there were really only two good Amityville films. It was the first one and the second one.
Yeah.
The second one was actually very disturbing. I mean,
yes, that was the prequel, the DeFeo story, right? Yeah, that was.
Yes, that was actually a decent.
It's
sequel, prequel, whatever
it's
you
good.
call it.
Yeah.
And
that's got to be nearing 40 years since that movie, just about, hasn't it? Because that was 82 or 83, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we did we do a rewatch of that on your channel, Netter?
The first one, but not the second one. Yeah,
the first one.
Yeah, I think we did the first one on mine.
Okay, maybe we do the second one when we get around to the anniversary.
There's also the remake. Okay. There's also the remake.
Fuck the remake. Screw that bullshit.
You didn't like the remake?
No.
Because the first one, I was fascinated. I want to see the remake because typically typically they remake good movies and make them worse, but it's the Amityville horror, so I was wondering if they would make it better.
No, it wasn't.
Ryan Reynolds was fine in it. I don't know.
But really, do I want to sit through an Amityville remake directed by the same guy who did Die Hard 5?
No, yeah, good point.
Really?
It had two crushes I have, like Melissa George and what's her name? The other one from G.I. Joe. She was in it.
I feel like what we should do is a rewatch, double feature. We should do Amityville Horror and The Money Pit. I think those two are thematically linked. Because I still insist that first Amityville film is about somebody who bought himself into a money pit. the house had a sewer problem. It had insulation
No, it
problems.
was built over the gate to hell. That's what
It was badly sealed.
That-
It had foundation problems. The sewage was attracting flies. I mean, making people sick. It was bleeding sewage from the walls. I mean, yeah. Anybody who ever owned a house and saw this stuff was like, I see what happened here. Yeah.
I could see the double feature guys doing that. You know, the
Yeah.
Amityville Horror and the Money Pit. That's exactly something they would do.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
So Tuesday. I always screw this up, Boomer. What are we doing on Tuesday?
that'll be Culture Fortress with Mr. Matchstick's channel.
Culture Fortress, so I gotta figure out what I'm doing for that. But yeah, check out Mr. Matchstick's channel, where each one of us will do a little bit of a talk about some franchise or film or book series or something that you may not know about that you can substitute for the bullshit that you're getting these days.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like what's good that still hasn't been tainted. That's the sort of thing. Or what's good
Wednesday
that's current
nights.
that you may have not heard. Soundtracks of Birdman, we are going to be doing a live rewatch of Showgirls, which I have
You're
never
finally
seen.
doing it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how you talked yourselves into that one.
I don't know, and they told me not to watch it since I hadn't watched it. They want to get my live reactions to it. So.
Oh,
Which I don't normally like that. I like to watch the movie first, but I guess if
I
I
will
watch
have
Showgirls,
to catch the rewatch of that one then, because I want to hear your reaction. That's going to be awesome.
Something to drink while watching it, maybe. I don't know.
It is a movie that goes better with liquor, let me tell you. Okay, so I think that brings us around to Friday. I'm trying to get there's a couple people I'm trying to get lined up as guests, but if that doesn't come through, I'm kind of thinking after tonight's talk, I think I might want to just do a rewatch of Heartbreak Ridge.
All right.
I'm down for that.
I think that's what I might just do. So if I don't get the guests that I'm trying for, that's what we can look forward to. And that brings us around to we'll go an extra day for Saturday. Netter's rewatch is of course going to be Blade Runner. Currently expecting it to be the original theatrical release with the voiceover.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, that is the one that is having its anniversary. So
don't forget, there's American theatrical and European theatrical. They're different. I expect you'll go with the American version. That's what I'm
The
figuring.
one in English.
Well, no, they're both in English, but they're
no, everyone's speaking German in the European version.
I don't know, but yeah, that's.
Except for Edward James Olmos, he's speaking French. That version.
Oh gosh! Right?
I don't know. But yeah, I'll see if that's streaming anywhere. It's possible on HBO Max they might have the theatrical version on there because I know when HBO used to have it on there, it'd be the theatrical version.
You know what? Do me a favor, Boomer. If you do see that it is, let me know.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure Al's aware of it. Either way, because I got to get him set up with some way to view it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because he doesn't have that particular version. Of course, Netter and I have like all the versions. So.
Yeah, you got the set that came with all of them, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Owned physical media.
Yeah, definitely own physical media. They can never take it away from you. And to be honest with you, having them doesn't mean I've seen them all. You know, I've seen like 2 or 3 versions, but there's a bunch of them on there. So anyway, so that's all I got. Any last words? Well, you're the guest here, so Stephen Otten, any last words?
I did want to bring one quick thing up because we this is called a callback, folks. We brought this up at the beginning of the show. Replicas of props from films, and we mentioned Hans Blaster. And I happen to have one of these at the last con.
And if I was monetized, I just got demonetized.
This is a replica, folks. Merely a replica. This is not real. It does not fire. I got this at the last con that I went to before the Coof knocked everything out. But yeah, I also, from the same designer, I also have a replica of the Galactica from the Battlestar Galactica series. I have that in the back room. But
Wow.
yeah, I'm going to
That's
do.
nice.
You had brought that up, and I thought I happen to have a replica. Let me go get it.
That's pretty cool.
So,
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Anything else, Boomer?
Nope, nothing. Looks like it is Final Cut on HBO Max, so you may have to find another way to get that version to the theatrical.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. And of course, Netter, last words.
Well, like I always say, thank you for joining us. We could talk amongst ourselves, but it's so much more fun when you guys are joining in and throwing in comments and sharing your experiences with us. You're not just friends, you're family. Thank you for being here. We love you guys.
Yep. And you know what she just said is absolutely true. I super appreciate you guys. You guys encourage the hell out of me. I know all the YouTubers say it, but it really is true. The likes, the shares, the comments after the fact, especially those of you that come back and leave a comment, whether you were here or not. It really does mean the world to me. I'll keep doing it as long, they say you keep feeding the squirrels, they'll keep coming back. Well, you keep hitting the likes and leaving the comments, and I'll just keep doing this. I super appreciate it, guys. So
Yeah,
that's
the chat has been outstanding tonight.
Absolutely.
I know we didn't get to every single thing that everybody said, but when we got around the bots, that there were some pretty insightful information there.
I even am encouraged when you guys are talking amongst yourselves.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that community building. That makes me feel like I'm providing some kind of service, that my time isn't wasted. So I really appreciate that, guys. So thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and yeah, I'll catch you on the next show. Take care.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, sir.
Hit it, sweetheart.